Hello, welcome to Outdoor Cooking Adventures with Knynman Raj. I'm Roger. Today we're going to start this adventure in my kitchen, and I really like to get as much of the prep work done at home before I get out into the field. It's so much more convenient, and so that's what I'm going to try to do. Normally I have the convenience of using a commercial kitchen, which because of the COVID, and I don't need to explain that, we all know I am doing this out of my own kitchen today. So in the background you'll hear my birds making noise, and we're gonna work through that, right? So today we're gonna get some stuff ready for our mountain trip. We're gonna go to the Golden Dreamer Mesa out in the Santa Fe National Forest, and we're gonna make a bison meatloaf. But not only is it a bison meatloaf, we're gonna make 3 individual portions, and we are gonna stuff our bison meatloaf with homegrown New Mexico fresh harvest green chile. We're celebrating the harvest, it's that time of year, so we're going to focus on that. And we're also going to add some blue cheese, and we're also going to add some sun-dried tomatoes to that, wrapped in bacon. All right, you're going to love it. Hang with us and we'll show you what we got going on here. Thumbs up. Okay, now we're ready for our next step, and I'm going to show you guys what we're going to be using here, and we're going to highlight in our video here, our outdoor cooking adventure video, we're going to use ground bison, which is really good. It's very lean, so that's where the bacon kind of comes into play. So we'll be using the ground bison, and we'll be using our ground bison to make our meatloaf. And we have all our meatloaf ingredients over here. You guys all know how to make a meatloaf. We're not going to get into that. I have my own recipe that I've been using for 35 years, and so I'm going to use that. If you can't find a recipe that you like, go online. There's probably 100 of them on there. You'll find one. So we're gonna...
What you got in those 2 dishes there? I see that we got...
Yeah, we got our spices here and our parsley, and there's some ground sage and salt and pepper. I got breadcrumbs here, and we got garlic and onions, and we have some evaporated milk. When I cook with milk, I use evaporated milk. It's a little creamier, a little thicker, has a better taste to it. And this right here, this is, we'll talk about this later. This will be our end sauce that will go on top. So moving on from that, back to the ground beef, that'll be our main thing. We'll make our meatloaf, you do the meatloaf. Then what we're gonna do is we will put our meatloaf in 3 individual containers. We're gonna make individual meatloafs. And really, there'll probably be enough for about 6 people here. So that's going to be where we're going to start. We'll put our bacon in there, and then we're going to stuff our meatloaf with blue cheese. And this is the good stuff, all right? If you're going to be cooking with bison, don't spare any expenses. Get the good stuff. We're going to be using sun-dried tomatoes, and these have a little bit of nice olive oil inside them that add a little bit of that flavor to the inside of the meat. And last but not least, we cannot leave out our homegrown New Mexico green chile. This is Wagner Farm green chile, and they grow up and down the Rio Grande Valley. This is the Rio Grande Hot, so I've cut some up. We're going to go sparingly on this chili because when they say Rio Grande Hot, it has a bite to it, and so I don't want to overdo it. I don't want it to overpower the meatloaf. So that's what we've got going. Hang with us, and we're going to start putting this thing together. We're going to get our meatloaf ready, and then we'll show you how we put this thing together. Stay with us. Okay, we're back, and I've got our meatloaf mixture together. And I don't know if I mentioned before, but we are using 2 pounds of ground bison. And what I did to get this started with is our meatloaf is all done, but I also wanted to, I'm going to be making 3 separate portions, right? So I went ahead and sprayed our trays with some non-stick cooking spray, just to make it easier out in the field when it's time to cut your meat out and pull it out. Then I went ahead and lined our trays with 3 strips of long bacon. This is hardwood smoked bacon. It's going to be delicious. It's going to add the oils that this bison doesn't have, because the bison is very lean meat. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started on this first one right here. So I'm going to take half the bison that we have, and we're going to line the bottom of the tray just like that. Don't want to work it too much, because I think the more you work this ground meat, the tougher it gets. So we're going to kind of just do something like that. And then next, we are going to add a little bit of green chili, or not green chili, we're going to put some blue cheese on here first. We're going to scoop a little bit of blue cheese on there. And we want to make sure and get a nice layer, but not too much. We don't want to overpower it, but that'll be a good layer right there. And then we are going to take it and add some sun-dried tomatoes. And these are delicious. These are have some olive oil on them, and it doesn't take a whole lot. We'll add a few there and get a nice layer. Yum. My mouth is watering. What about you, Matt?
Oh yeah.
I want to thank Matt, by the way. He's here as always, helping me do this video. Couldn't do it without you, buddy. Appreciate you. All right. The best thing about it is he always gets to taste the killer food when it's all done, right, Matt?
Yes, sir.
All right. So then our next step is we're going to go ahead and add some of our New Mexico grown green chili. This is grown in Wagner Farms. I think I mentioned that already. Up and down the Rio Grande Valley. And it's just delicious chili. It's that time of year, harvest season. So we're showing off our green chili. And this is the Rio Grande hot. So I'm going to be a little bit gentle with the green chili because it is hot. Okay? So it doesn't take a whole lot. We don't want to overpower it. We just want a little bit of a flavoring for it. So we're going to call that good on that. So then our next step, we'll kind of just pack this down just a tad. We got to put the rest, the other half of this bison, on top of here. And look at that. All right, so we're going to pat it down just a tad. Seems to be just about perfect. These are 3 by 5 inch trays. So we're going to get that in there, and then we're going to just casually fold over the bacon. And we're going to put these over like this. And there you go. So that's what we got. I'm going to put together the other 2 here, and then we'll show you what it looks like here all in the end. All right. Stay with us. All right, well, you've been watching this whole process as we go through all this. I'm down to the last one. And I tell you what, even with this isn't not cooked, it smells good already. I can already smell this. It's looking delicious too. So there you go. We got these things put together. I'm guessing there's going to be enough for 2 people in each one of those trays, so you can feed 6 people with this. So our next step is we're going to wrap these up in aluminum foil, and we're going to get them ready for transport. We're getting almost done. Hang in there with us. Okay, we're coming down to the end of this outdoor cooking adventure, at least for my home kitchen part of it. We still have the whole cooking adventure part to go, but we'll get that in a little bit. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to individually wrap each one of these meatloaf, bison meatloaf wraps in heavy-duty aluminum foil, just to make sure that they're not going to leak. But we're going to wrap these things up individually, kind of something like this. Make it so that you can unwrap it easy, because the last probably 30 minutes of cooking, you're going to want to unwrap this thing so that the bacon will cook. And so it's important that you wrap this thing so it's easy to unwrap, and that'll make your life up in the mountains so much easier. So just remember how you wrap it. And so we're going to do it just like that, and stick with us. I got 2 more to go. And once we get through those, we'll go through the end of this process here at the house, and then we'll talk about seeing you up in the mountains. Stay with us. Okay, well, you've watched all the process that we've gone through here to make our bison stuffed meatloaf. And we're excited to have the Mexico homegrown green chili featured in it. That's a great deal. So we've got everything wrapped up in aluminum foil. My next step is, and I'm not going to show it, but I'll probably put these individually in vacuum sealed containers so they don't cross-contaminate once they're in the cooler, because if they're in the cooler bouncing around on the way to the mountains, we don't want water to get in them, or vice versa. So they're going to be completely contained. But I also wanted to talk about the extra green chili that we have here. And the extra green chili we have, I'm going to go ahead and dice this up, and I am going to add it to some coleslaw mix. And I will also be adding some cranberries, sweet and dried cranberries, and they're delicious. They'll take away a little bit of the heat from the chili that will go into the coleslaw, and I'll just get a regular cabbage coleslaw mix, and I like the I think it's Sun Valley coleslaw mix. Put that together, and it's going to really have a nice flavor. That little bit of heat in the coleslaw is something different that we don't usually have, and we're going to celebrate green chili harvest season again. So our next step is, well, and I think one thing I left out, and we'll sew this up in the mountains, but this is my sweet and tangy sauce that will go on top of our meatloaf once our bacon is crispy and browned on top. Put a little bit of that on top and let it finish off. So we have that all made. We're going to be heading up to the mountains tomorrow. So we'll be getting these on the grill. Now I think I'm going to try something different. Is where we're going in the Golden Drino Mesa, Santa Fe National Forest. There is a lot of rocky material around, and I would like to build a rock oven and use charcoal to cook these things in their very own rock oven. That's kind of a goal of mine. Never done that. We're going to see if we can accomplish that. But if you don't have a rock oven to build, you can cook this on your grill in the backyard, or you can cook it in your oven in the house. So just keep that in mind. But stay with us, and we'll be up in the Santa Fe National Forest tomorrow, and we'll pick up here where we left off. Thumbs up. It's going to be delicious. I guarantee it. All right. Well, thanks for hanging with us. We finally made it out to the Golden Drino Mesa out here in the Santa Fe National Forest. The weather's beautiful. I'm here with my buddies Matt. He's working the camera. Thank you as always, buddy. I appreciate that. And we got Terry in the background. He'll be eating with us, and we'll see him here in a little bit. But I was just going to show you when we finished last time, when I was showing you how to put all this together. I hadn't sealed it up, and what I did is I sealed them in bags so that they would transport in the cooler without getting wet or any other kind of problem. So that's what we have going. We have the grill fired up in the background. I have kind of a makeshift oven that we're going to put these in, and they're going to cook for about 50 minutes to an hour, depending on our heat. We'll have to just kind of feel it as we go. But this is the start, and hang with us, and we're going to put these things in the oven. They're going to be delicious. Okay, it looks like our coals are about ready to go. I built a little bit of a rock oven that we're going to try to use to hold the heat in so these things can kind of cook evenly, but we're going to put them on. They're pretty good size. You saw me when I made them. We used 2 pounds of buffalo, so they are going to be nice and meaty, but we're going to set these things right in here on the grill like this. Space them apart. We'll probably have to come in here and rotate them a little bit because I think it's a little bit warmer in the center than in the edges, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. And so at that point, we're going to use our pan to cover the oven. We're going to kind of do something like that, and I have a couple of rocks that I have set in here to help hold in a little bit of the heat, and we're going to kind of set them in here like this. We're going to let them go for a little bit and see what happens. I know it's going to be delicious. I can't wait to check them out and show you guys how good this is going to be with all the green chili. And we're excited to celebrate the green chili harvest in the fall of New Mexico, and that's what this is all about, and you'll see that in the end. So hang with us. We're cooking. Okay, well, we're about halfway through our cooking process here, so I'm going to go in here and spin these things. I've already done it once, so I do it about every 15 minutes just to kind of even up the cooking temperature and everything you got going on, kind of even out the cooking a little bit. So I did have some foil wrapped around it a little bit here too to kind of help hold in some of the heat, but this thing is plenty hot enough for sure. And I'm going to pull these out, just kind of swap them out. I'll take this one, and when I swap them, I also kind of spin them so that try to just even out the cooking more than anything. And I can tell they're getting close, they're getting soft. So I'm going to save probably another 15 or 20 minutes in here, and we should be good to go. I'm going to go ahead and cover this thing up. And yeah, these rocks are pretty warm, so we know we're getting plenty of heat. And then what I'll do is I'll take this foil and we'll just kind of do it here. We'll just kind of just stack it up here the best we can so that we can try to hold in a little bit of the heat. We are having a little bit of a breezy afternoon, so we kind of want to hold in as much of that as we can. And thank you, Matt. And we'll just kind of leave her like that, and for about another 15 minutes or so, and then we're going to pull the top of the containers open, and hopefully they can brown a little bit. The bacon will brown, and we'll add a little sauce to the top of it, and then we'll finish it off like that. So stay with us. All right, well, we've been on the grill for about 45 minutes or so, and so I want to unwrap them a little bit, and I kind of wrapping this foil down the base of them to hold the juices in. And we're going to put them in to brown for a little bit, probably for about 15 minutes or so, and then at that point, then I have some ketchup, some sweet ketchup sauce to put on these as they finish up. But we're going to put them in and let them brown. They're close to being done already. They smell delicious. If you could only smell what I am smelling here. So we're going to put these back on and let them go for probably another 15 or 20 minutes. And we'll look at them from there. We'll let them brown a little bit. We'll put some sauce on them, and then we'll be done. I can't wait. I am hungry, and they are smelling delicious. Stay with us. Don't go away. Okay, well, it's been a little over an hour and 10 minutes or so. And it looks like to me like the bacon has started to crisp up some, so we're going to pull the top off here and we'll all take a look at it. Oh yeah, look at that. That looks wonderful. So my next step, I am going to add a little bit of the brown sugar ketchup sauce that I make. And this is ketchup, brown sugar, and a little bit of ground mustard. And everyone has their favorite red sauce to go on their mustard, so we're not going to go into that. I'm sure you guys already have what you like, but what we're going to do is we're going to just take probably a tablespoon and just probably spread across the top like that on each one. And then we're probably going to let it go for another 10 or 15 minutes, and this sauce will be cooked in, and I think it'll be about that time for some dinner. And as far as the way they're smelling, they are smelling delicious and looking great. So don't go away. We'll be back here in a couple minutes. We'll pull these things off, let them cool a little bit, and cut into them and show you what we got. Okay, it's been about an hour and a half. This thing has cooled off quite a bit, so I wasn't too worried about it getting overcooked. We're just kind of letting it cool off a little bit. But we're gonna pull the top off here and take a look at this. And those look really good. What do you think, Matt?
Look delicious.
They look good, don't they?
Yep, they look well cooked.
All right. Well, we're going to remove them, and we're going to put them on our pan here. They're gonna need some cool-off time before we break into those. So we're going to let them set for probably about 15 minutes. But man, those things look really good, and they are smelling delicious. All right, so I'm going to walk these over to the table, and then we're going to let them cool off a little bit. We're going to cut into them here in a little bit and get to see what the inside looks. I can't wait. Stay with us. Okay, we are all hungry. We're going to eat. I've got everything pulled off. Matt and Terry have already started making their plates, but I'm going to show you what we got here. First, we got our Bison meatloaf stuffed with green chili, New Mexico homegrown green chili from this year's harvest. We got blue cheese and some sun-dried tomatoes, the Bison buffalo wrapped in bacon, and we got the red sauce up on top. And also, to go along with our green chili tradition, I made a green chili coleslaw that has obviously green chili, your coleslaw mix, and it also has some dried sweetened cranberries. Take a little bit of the heat off the chili and add a little bit of sweetness. So that's what we got to go here, and I'm going to cut into this. We're going to take a look. I'm going to probably put mine on a pita bread. I'm going to cut right through it like this. And we're going to scoop it out and put it on our bread here. And this is going to be dinner for me. Oh yeah, and you can see the stuffed ingredients there. It looks freaking delicious. I gotta say, there's a lot of food here, probably enough for at least 2 people, but we all have one like this. And yeah, so that's what we got. I'm gonna add a little of this cold slaw here to my plate, and then it's gonna be time to eat. Yum. All right, look at that. Delicious. Yum. All right, so it's been a fun experience. This is something I've never done, and I think that you should try it because it's going to be great. We got the cold slaw and the green chili, and the green chili is the best part about it. So I want to say thank you for watching our episode of Outdoor Cooking Adventures. Try this out, and I hope you enjoy it. Leave comments and questions down below. I will answer them the best I can. Subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and thanks again for watching.